This is Goblin Camp, a fantasy city builder inspired by Finnish mythology. The aim of the game is for you to help your goblins survive the harsh winters and build a thriving city. So one of the defining features of Goblin Camp is its stock manager. So if we take a look at that, you can see here, it's a list of all the items your goblins know about. You can see how many of them you own, and then there's this target field. So say I wanted to make some better weapons for my guard goblins. Let's scroll down here, find stone maces. They have pretty decent damage points, made out of carpenter. So I go here and I set the target to 2. So I'm saying I always want there to be 2 stone maces in the camp. So if you then take a look at the jobs list, you can see a lot of things are going on in the camp. We scroll down to here, these inactive jobs. You can see that there's 2 craft stone mace jobs. They're waiting for branches, which is why they're inactive for now. But the jobs to bring the branches to the carpenters have been made. And we can see here, here's our carpenter's shed, carpenter's shack. And I'm fairly sure that in just a moment, some goblins will arrive carrying branches. We'll give them a few seconds. Here we go. This goblin brought a branch to this carpenter. And I think here is our carpenter goblin. Yes, they've gotten to work. Similarly here, another goblin brought a branch, got to work. And we can take a look in just a moment. They've created a stone mace. So the stock manager figured out what materials were needed, what workshops were needed, set up the jobs. And this would work even for items that have a long production chain of multiple different kinds of materials. The stock manager will queue all the required jobs up, the goblins will gather the materials, and they'll make the thing happen. This also applies to items you might need to get from nature. So you can see here a couple of trees have been highlighted, and that's just to show that they're targeted by goblins to be chopped down. So if I went to the stock manager and I decided that, hey, I want a lot more planks, lift this up to 50, you can see that more trees got highlighted. Because in order to make planks, you need wooden logs, and you get wooden logs from chopping down trees. So that's the stock manager in a nutshell. Now that the snow is melting, go take a look at our turnip field over here. Turnips are coming in quite nicely. I've stationed a guard here by the turnip fields just in case some hungry birds decide to appear and try and eat my turnips. I will enable this other guard as well. Also been building defenses, the palisades here, shaping up quite nicely. And as further defense of my turnips, I've been building a moat here, or digging a moat. We could go and ask the goblins to dig out these last bits of land here. You can see here, while we wait for a digger goblin to arrive, we have our fisher goblins hard at work here. You look at an individual goblin, you can see that they have these experience points. They get experience from everything they do, and eventually they will gain specific experience levels depending on their skills and become specialized in the work that they're best at. Here we go. Our goblin arrived with a digging stick to dig out these few tiles of land here. I think when this one goes, we'll see how the water starts flowing in. Here we go. Water is rushing in from the river, taking all the branches with it. Here we get our good start of a moat to keep invaders away from our precious turnips. So I've accumulated quite a bit of research. I could go over to the tech tree, and speaking of turnips, I think I will unlock slash and burn farming. So slash and burn farming is a very effective way of farming. The idea is you slash down a lot of plants, you burn them, you get ashes, and ashes increase the fertility of your farm plot quite a bit. But before that, I see that there's some combat happening. Some very hungry wolves have attacked. You can see here, very hungry and looking for food. Thankfully, my guard goblins are on the case. Fortunately, I see that Irapol did just die. But hopefully the guards will be able to deal with this threat. Otherwise, one wolf is down and the other one is running away. I think, yes, we were successful. Well, it's not great, but it's not terrible. Irapol sacrificed himself for the camp. So let's set up that slash and burn plot. So we go to the buildings menu. We just type in slash here to find it immediately. We'll drag out, say, this sized plot. And I will speed up time a little bit and we will see how the goblins arrive and start chopping down all of the plants. They'll leave the branches and the logs and anything else that can burn into the slash and burn plot, because the more things you have there, the more things you have to burn, which gives you more ashes, and the ashes are the key to the high fertility and getting far more turnips out of the farm plot than you would normally. And you can see here what they did was they picked up all of the branches, things from the sides or the edges. They left this fire break area, which is very important to make it possible to actually contain the fire. So if we open this slash and burn plot, you can set as many fire watchers as you like. You can have 0 if you're feeling courageous, but I think I'll set 2 fire watchers and I will start the fires. So that assigns 2 goblins to be fire watchers. It's also the fire watcher's job to start the fires. So as soon as we find a couple of free goblins, they will go pick up some branches and get to work. I believe here is 1 fire watcher, there's another one, and they're starting the fires. So if all goes well, they're able to keep the fire contained and won't let it spread, and instead we will have a good plot full of ash, and then we can remove the slash and burn plot and make a farm plot on top. You can see them putting out the fires in the fire break. But that's it. That was a quick look at what Goblin Camp looks like today. I hope you enjoyed it. And please go and wishlist it on Steam and try out our demo.